So there are now 525,600 Democratic primary candidates. For those of you who get that reference, good job. You're cultured. If you don't get that reference, you should go to a theater or something. But in all seriousness, there are a bunch of presidential candidates. A lot of people have been being asked about reparations. Interestingly enough, they haven't asked Tulsi Gabbard. Some of you may have noticed that. Well, the reason why they probably haven't asked Tulsi Gabbard is because, as usual, as of late, Tulsi is ahead of the curve. She has co-sponsored H.R. 40, which is a bill, or excuse me, I don't want to say bill, I apologize, a resolution that will begin the initiation process of reparations. Yeah, that's Tulsi. Look, here's what's interesting about this. Now, to my knowledge, unless I'm crazy, I want to make sure, I don't want to tell no lies. Okay, yeah, I wasn't crazy. Tulsi signed on to this legislation before it was being talked about in the news, because it was introduced in 2017. The latest action was when Representative Jackson asked unanimously for consent that the bill hereafter be considered H.R. 40, a bill originally introduced by former Representative Conyers for purposes of adding co-sponsors and requesting reprintings pursuant of Clause 7. So basically, it was originally for Conyers, but Conyers is not in Congress anymore. But it got reintroduced in its current form within the last, month or two? And then on top of that, it was today. I didn't even realize it. Today, it got renamed to H.R. 40 officially, and they're asking for more co-sponsors. Now, for those of you curious as to whether or not Tulsi cares about the Black agenda, I need to be very clear about something. She told me that she signed on to this. A lot of people knew the bill existed, but they weren't listing co-sponsors until really last night. But Tulsi told me that this is a big deal for her. The Black agenda is very important to her. Making sure that the Black community is taken care of is very important to her, because she does have somewhat of an endemic relationship with the indigenous communities across the country, being Hawaiian or Polynesian, if you will. There is that interconnection. So she understands how the empire can basically co-opt a people and use them for their own bidding. It happened in Hawaii. And so I'm sure being familiar with that history, it probably gives her some type of connection to the struggles, or at least an understanding of the struggles that Black people have gone through historically throughout the centuries here, which started even before Hawaii's issues and their indigenous people started being affected by the American empire. So it spoke, whenever I was talking, DMing with her, I realized, I'm like, hold up. I kind of skipped over it at first. I was like, hold up. Did she say she already co-signed the bill? I didn't tell her to co-sign it. I didn't put any pressure on her. I haven't seen any videos complaining about Tulsi in the reparations conversation. I've seen people asking about it. The news hasn't put pressure on her. She didn't go on the Breakfast Club and be pressed about reparations. She didn't go on The View and get pressed about reparations. No, in other words, she did this on her own accord and didn't even make a big deal about it. Because in her mind, this is not debatable. This is a non-debatable topic. And she plans on addressing in full the reparations conversation, hopefully at the town hall, where they will try to corner her with that question. Or maybe not. Maybe they won't ask her about it. Then, of course, she would probably address it right after. But the chance, because it's one thing when you get to say, I'm for reparations, because Kamala hasn't had to deal with that. She can't say it can't be introduced now. She can't say she can't get any sponsors because it's being done in the House as we speak. And Kamala could easily introduce a reparations legislation right now that would be perfected by the time she won the presidency, if she actually wanted reparations. Same with Elizabeth Warren. But they are merely using reparations as a talking point. And I say that because HR 40 has been here since January 2017, and Kamala hasn't said a damn word about reparations. Elizabeth Warren hasn't said a damn word about reparations. And I don't have to question whether or not Tulsi Gabbard does or does not want reparations. I don't have to question if she's going to try to dance around. Oh, well, how's it going to be implemented? How are we going to know? There are institutions to determine that. It's not difficult, actually. It really isn't that difficult. I don't have to guess where she stands because she signed her name on the dotted line. The resolution is very detailed. I could just read part of it, some of the text that just got released. To address, and it's a pretty long bill, or pretty long resolution, for a resolution, to address the fundamental injustice, cruelty, brutality, and inhumanity of slavery in the United States and the 13 American colonies between 1619 and 1865, and to establish a commission to study and consider a national apology and a proposal for reparations for the institution of slavery, its subsequent de jure and de facto racial and economic discrimination against African Americans, and the impact of these forces on living African Americans, to make recommendations to the Congress on appropriate remedies and for other purposes. That's what we want. You can call it what you'd like, but this isn't like, there's always the argument where you're just going to get a check. Checks aren't going to fix anything, which is, I don't know where you get that from. In America specifically, checks fix a lot of things. Ask Miami how getting checks and grants and things like that, automatic citizenship, worked out for them. I'm telling you, it worked out pretty great. They have a lot of ownership here. It was a different type of reparation, but it was still a reparation, even though it was kind of undeserved. That's a different discussion. But the point is, Tulsi once again putting her money where her mouth is, not worried about the repercussions, not worried about, oh my gosh, I might piss off some white people, because she's so good on so many other issues that if you're going to use that against her, the Midwest, let's be very clear about something. The Midwest isn't going to care. Then they'll be like, okay, I don't like the people who are not around black people, like don't feel any threat to black people. There's a lot of people in the country that are like, I don't care. Like, they literally do not care about black people one way or the other. If their taxes aren't going to go up, they don't care. They're like, do what you want to. I know this because I literally, once again, saw this happen in Miami. Cubans got the works. They got it. Native Americans in some states they got taken care of in some states and in some situations. There are other situations where it didn't work out so well. But like, if you're not affected by them and your tax dollars aren't going to increase because of it, a lot of the time, they don't care. They don't care because the money is readily available. They want to live their lives. And so trying to say that this idea that white people are going to be pissed off if Bernie or Tulsi supports reparations is silly. They may not like it, but the issue doesn't affect them one way or the other. And therefore, it's not going to be the deciding factor on whether or not they vote for one of them. Because I'm sure they're more concerned about their health care than our reparations. But even with reparations, we still can't afford health care. So I'm pretty sure they're more worried about things like that. But I'm glad that she didn't even care about that, those critiques that could have come her way, and they probably will come her way. But not knowing if those critiques would come her way and still deciding to put her name on the dotted line says a lot about Tulsi. Once again, giving her a leg up on just about every candidate in the race right now. We'll love to see how this turns out, and I'm looking forward to her town hall with CNN on Sunday. Make sure you tune into that. Once again, this Sunday, I can't remember which. I think hers is the one at 8. I think. Don't quote me on that. Definitely figure that out. But it is on Sunday. I'm going to be doing a live stream here right after it's concluded, and I hope that you all tune in. Remember, more than anything else, people, find your balance. Peace. Thank you for watching that segment of Mi Casa es Su Casa. Help us reach our goal of 500 patrons. You can do so by donating as little as $1 by clicking on the Patreon link in the description below. Don't forget, join us on Roku and JustNForm. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. And remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.